Testing, testing. Hello. Let me just have some coffee first. I got my US green card through marriage after entering on a tourist visa, and I'm gonna explain to you how I did it without hiring a lawyer and no request for evidence. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Ayla, and today I'm breaking down how I adjusted my status from a US tourist visa to a US green card holder without hiring a lawyer and with no request for evidence. I came to the US on a tourist visa without any plans of staying permanently, but life happens, destiny happens, and now, after 4 years, I've officially passed my US naturalization interview and I'm about to take my oath ceremony. Actually, tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow will be my oath ceremony, and I'm gonna hold on to this green card for less than a few hours now because I have to give it up as I take my oath ceremony tomorrow. But before that, I want to create this video just to give you a breakdown on how I process my adjustment of status and everything in between. If you're thinking about adjusting your status through marriage, I'll break down everything in this video, from the time I got married to the forms that I fill up to the evidence that I submitted and how to prove that your relationship is real. When I first started this process, I was searching everywhere for relatable success stories on how they've gone through their journey from being a US tourist visa to a green card holder up until their naturalization status. However, I keep finding stories that felt incomplete with no latest updates. That's why finding resources of people on my same situation has been really tough. That's why I'm creating this video to inspire and guide people who are also in the same position as me. I'll give you the real unfiltered story on how I did it and show that adjustment of status is possible as long as it is done the right way. This process can feel overwhelming, stressful, and confusing, and honestly a little scary. Don't worry, I've experienced all of that when I was on my path towards getting my green card. That's why on this video, I'll be sharing you a step-by-step guide as to the forms I filled, the fees, the timeline, my green card interview experience, and the biggest lessons I've learned along the way. So whether you're starting your adjustment of status or deep in the process, I hope this video makes things clear for you. Or if you're simply curious about the process or know someone who's also going through the same thing, please share this video with them. You never know who might need this and the guidance and reassurance that they need along the journey. So before we dive in, I want to mention that my adjustment of status was processed back in 2021. So if you're watching this in 2025 or later, you might notice that some things like processing times, fees, and specific USCIS policies may have changed. The US immigration system is always evolving, and it is always advisable to check USCIS website for the latest updates. That being said, the core process of adjusting a status through marriage still remains the same. Understanding eligibility, preparing evidence, handling the interview, and making sure that you submit everything correctly. So my goal is to share my real experience because I know how overwhelming this process can feel. If you're going through this now, I hope this video gives you a little clarity, confidence, and a little bit of comfort along the way. Let me quickly share my backstory so you know where I'm coming from. So I have been a tourist visa holder since the early 2000s, and I've been coming here to the US to visit family and friends. And then not until year 2019 when I met my husband, and that's when our dating life began. In year 2020, I was in Sydney doing my postgraduate degree, and he's here in the US. And you know what happened last 2020, right? Coronavirus happened, lockdown happened. So he even had plans to come visit me in Sydney. However, that's really impossible. And the only solution is for us to see each other is for me to somehow visit him. So what happened was, since everything went online, I decided to take a trip to US to visit him while I stay with my relatives. But I do have a return ticket flying back to Manila because I just miss home so much as well. But just a couple of months while I was staying here, he proposed because we didn't want to be apart anymore. And then we had an intimate wedding during the pandemic, and that's when my adjustment of status journey began. So there's so much more to my story, how I navigated life here with this quick huge life change and then settled into marriage and built a new life here in California. But I know you're not here for that. You're here for my green card process. So I'll keep this video focused on that. But if you're curious about my journey beyond immigration, motherhood, parenting, adjusting life here in the US, living abroad, I'll be sharing more in my future videos, so definitely stick around for that. So before I get into the whole process, I know there's this common question that I always see in the forum, which is it really legal to marry here in the US while you're on a tourist visa? And the answer is yes, but the timing really matters. When everything was happening real time on my part, I didn't even thought of it because I was just like in the moment, just so in love and didn't really think of the the aftermath of or the paperworks that I have to deal with after marrying my husband now. So there's something called the 90-day rule wherein if you get married and apply for a green card too soon, like within 90 days, immigration might think that you planned it all along, which can lead to issues. But if you marry 90 days after, it's usually safer because it shows your plans have changed eventually. So now marriage itself is not illegal. However, the problem is if you enter US planning to stay indefinitely. But if your situation changed after arriving, you can apply for a green card through adjustment of status, as long as you have entered legally and your spouse is a US citizen. So if you do apply, immigration will want proof that your marriage is real, like joint bank accounts, photos, insurance, travel history. There's so much. So basically anything that shows that and prove that your relationship is real. So yes, you can get married on a tourist visa, but if your timeline is tight, like mine was, just be ready to prove your relationship is real. And in my case, even though I was so anxious, everything worked out, and I'll share more of that in my timeline. So let's get into the juicy part wherein I will explain to you the forms that I submitted and their purpose, the fees and timeline, my green card interview experience, the biggest lessons I've learned along the way, leading up to this day wherein I'm already about to be a US citizen tomorrow. So better stick around for my tips and just a friendly advice as to how you can navigate this journey with ease. So let's start with the USCIS forms that I submitted that time, starting off with the I-130 with the subform of I-130A. So this is the petition for alien relative and the supplemental information for your spouse beneficiary. This is basically the form that your spouse has to fill up. And then the main one, which is the I-485, which is the adjustment of status. This is the green card application. And then I submitted the I-765, which is the employment authorization. This allows you to work even while you're waiting for your green card to be approved. And then the I-864, which is the affidavit of support. This helps you justify that your spouse can financially support you while you're here in the US. And then I submitted the I-994, which is the Declaration of Self-Sufficiency. This form, you have to prove that you won't be depending on the public benefits. And then lastly, I submitted the I-693, which is the medical examination report. So now I will show you how much I paid compared to the fees that we currently have this year at 2025. So with all the forms that I submitted, this is the amount that I paid. Back in 2021, there are only two major fees, but I looked into the fees for this year, 2025. There's so much more. But like I said, please do visit the USCIS website for latest updates on your processing fees. But for reference, I'm giving you this comparison rate. So for me, I only paid $535 for the petition for spouse and then $1,225 for the green card application. The rest has no filing fee, and then the biometrics is included with the green card application. So if you notice, I didn't submit one form, which is the I-131, the travel permit, which allows you to travel even if you have a pending application of green card. It's just that year we're already starting to start our family, and eventually I got pregnant, so I didn't have any plans of traveling at all. All in all, for comparison, I only paid $1,760 back in 2021 compared to the rates right now. Estimate would be $3,005. I am actually quite surprised with the jump of filing fees or the increase of filing fees that happened in between 5 years. So Yeah, I'm just showing you what I've gathered from USCIS resources, but make sure to really visit the website as well to verify all the rates once you are already applying for your green card or adjustment of status. I know this is too much to digest, so I will make another video about entirely all about the forms that I submitted and at the same time how I arranged my adjustment of status packet along with the cover letters that I put in front of each form to make sure that you have an organized and efficient way for your officer to review your application. So better stick around for that. I know that can be a lot, but I hope that will help you as well. So now let's get into my timeline. So now for my timeline, this is just going to be very quick for you to just have an idea. So I arrived here in the US mid-September of 2020, and then mid-November, that's when I got engaged. And then mid-December is when I got married. So as you can see, it's just really 90 days plus minus when everything happened. And then between December to January, that's where I filled out the forms, completed the requirements, compiled evidence for our bona fide marriage. And then January 25, 2021 was when I shipped my adjustment of status packet through FedEx. I'll be posting another video as to how I arranged my adjustment of status packet along with cover letters that you can actually download, so you have a guide as well on how you could make your packet more organized and very efficient for the officer to review. So after submitting my packet, it's been like crickets for more than a month. If you notice, from January 25, I got an update March 3rd as and wherein I got a text notification of the receipt numbers of all my forms. And then nothing from them again for a few months, not until May 9, 2021, wherein I received the I-693 notice, which is the medical exam form. So if you notice, I didn't submit the I-693 along with my packet because before they have like limited validity of the results, and at that time I got pregnant, so there are some vaccinations that I can't do that is listed on the I-693 form, but I was still able to submit it as well, actually on the day of my green card interview. So after receiving my I-693 form notice, I got an update July 24, wherein I got my biometrics appointment notice, which is scheduled on August 13, 2021. I had it back in Oakland. And then August 17, few days after that, I got a notification that my case is ready to be scheduled for interview. Since like right after the biometrics, that's when it really moved faster. And then I waited for a month to receive my interview notice, which is September 16. I got it on the mail and it was scheduled on October 15. And then same month of September, my I-765, which is my employment authorization document, was approved. And I got the card on hand last October 1, 2021. And then on October 15, I got my green card interview and I was approved on the same day. And I got my green card on hand on October 26, 2021. So now that you saw my timeline, roughly overall, I waited 8 months before my green card got approved. I have no regrets on my wait time, although it was really nerve-wracking. I was pregnant almost the whole time when I was waiting for my green card to be approved, but yeah, it's been a journey while waiting for that green card approval. Now, let's jump into my green card interview experience. You know what? It's been 4 years, but I can still vividly remember what happened that day. So, like I said, my interview was scheduled on October 15, 2021. My field office is at San Jose, but it's located in Santa Clara. So, my appointment was at around 10 a.m. and I'm actually 8 months pregnant when I had my interview. So I went there with my spouse. And to be honest, it was just like very quick. We didn't even stay 1 hour from the time we checked in until the time we got out. I think it's really less than an hour. We were checked in quite fast, and the officer that interviewed us was really nice. In terms of the questions that were asked, it's nothing major, to be honest. It's more of just verifying the documents that I've sent, and I even brought my album, like updated album, like my ultrasound and then the baby shower everything that happened in between January up until October. But he didn't even ask for it. He was even more chit-chatty with my husband because he's a nurse, and the time it's still a pandemic. So he was more interested on how the healthcare industry is working or dealing with the pandemic situation. And he can see that I'm like heavily pregnant. He really didn't ask much. Honestly, yeah, there was no tricky questions. And right then and there, we were approved. And he was really kind enough to hand me out naturalization booklet, wherein that's actually the next step as you become a green card holder is to become a US citizen, right? So he gave me some resources that I can use. He said that, okay, in time you will need this. So yeah, he's really such a nice person. And I'm lucky actually to have nice officers, because even with my naturalization interview, which I have in the other videos that I posted, I have shared how nice our officer was as well. I know there's not much content on how my interview went because it was really fast and smooth. I think overall we just spent like 15 minutes inside the room. And then, you know what? After that, the day after that, I went into labor. So I gave birth to my son at 36 weeks. I guess it was all the pressure and stress just overwhelmed me up until my green card interview. But yeah, he's a healthy boy now. He's now 3 years old. Oh my gosh, we covered a lot in this video. I know it's too much info for you right now. From getting married, to the forms you need to fill, the evidence that you need to present, the green card interview experience, and everything in between. After everything that I'm sharing right now, I've been realizing all the lessons that I've learned, and I hope this helps you who's going through this journey and gives you a little comfort along the way and help you navigate your journey in a way that you can process it in a more mindful way. So for the first lesson that I've learned is that you have to be proactive with your paperwork. So how I did it was I invested on a printer scanner, and I just lay it all out on the floor, make sure that I filled it up first manually, and then before I typed it in online, and then printed it and double checked it, triple check it, quadruple check it, because submitting a complete and well organized paperwork will avoid delays or RFEs. Processing times can feel overwhelming, but tracking your case online will give you some ease of mind. I know back in 2021, I was able to create an account, I even downloaded an app wherein I can track my status using my alien number. So that's one thing that you can also do as soon as you submit your packet or as soon as you receive your notice, because you will receive an alien number on that one. The last is believe in your journey. I know being a tourist visa holder and then applying for a green card holder is really suspicious in so many levels, but I know that I deserve to be here. I am happily married with my husband. That's why that gave me more than enough courage and confidence, and just trust in myself that everything will just be fine. I really hope that this helped you understand the adjustment of status process a little better and made things feel less overwhelming for you. So if you're currently going on through this journey, whether you're just starting or have already approved, let's build a community together where we can help and support each other. And if this video helped, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be sharing more videos about how I'm navigating life here in the US as someone who's been living abroad for the past years now. So make sure to hit that notification bell for you to not miss out. Oh, and before you go, if you're wondering what happens after you get approved for your green card, that's just the beginning, to be honest. There'll be next steps in few years from now once you're approved. If you want to jumpstart on that one, I have videos already posted, so you feel free to watch that. It will pop in the screen right now. So for my final words, I'm letting go of, well, my green card is inside this one. Yeah, this is peek of my green card. I'll be giving this up tomorrow for during the oath taking ceremony. It's just so meaningful. It's really been a long ride, and to be honest, being a US citizen right now is just the beginning. There's so much more that I would want to do after that. First, of course, I have to apply for US passport. So after getting my US citizenship, I still have plans of petitioning my family, my parents initially. So me and the US immigration will still bond for the next years to come. So if you're also on the same path as mine, stick around as I will also be updating you real time on how I'm navigating life here in the US as an immigrant and then after tomorrow as a US citizen. So thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.